What were the nerves like hitting your opening tee shot here compared to what you normally do on the basketball court?
I don't get nervous for basketball, but I got a little nervous for this because I don't want to hit anybody, but honestly.
The sports world came to a complete halt 2 minutes ago. The basketball sensation Caitlin Clark, who has been making headlines for her incredible on-court exploits, just accomplished something that no one could have predicted. She entered A.
One of my teammates was too then, and we'd go like play Twilight every day after practice, and it would just be so fun. And we'd go talk about it, talk crap the next day at practice. That's what made it.
The golf course picked up a club and went on to entirely defy expectations, leaving even seasoned pros, fans, and critics in disbelief. This isn't just another famous person having a friendly game of golf. Caitlin Clark is this person.
Whether it was sport, whether it's business, whatever it is, I think that was what's so cool about it. And obviously, getting to sit next to Annika on stage is pretty special.
Demonstrating once more that her potential is limitless, and her competitors are undoubtedly staring at this with their mouths agape. At 7 in the morning, it all began. At that hour, the majority of people are barely conscious and press the snooze button.
Else maybe could play today, especially in women's sports, that would create this kind of attention at current player. And I mean, the true buzz that Caitlin Clark has shown across the entire sports world in such a short...
Getting their first cup of coffee, once more. However, the stands were already crowded this morning. In order to see what they imagined would be something exceptional, fans had gathered in the early darkness, with some arriving hours before daylight. There was a lot of excitement among the golf press.
You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on?
I think honestly, besides the actual basketball, so hard. I think getting stronger. That's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building my strength. Obviously, it's hard going racing, it's hard shooting to the professional.
Every angle is covered by cameras. Commentators are getting ready to write. Everyone wanted to be present when Caitlin Clark made her appearance, since they all knew it was coming. The prediction that was circulating was straightforward, yet effective. Her mere presence was going to introduce golf to completely new audiences, individuals who otherwise would not have paid attention. Furthermore, they were utterly.
She's having Larry Bird impact. She's been the driving force of the hottest team in the entire league, despite her record turnovers. Why? Because she's that good. She's legit good. She's colorblind good. She's guilt-free good.
Exactly. Something surprising occurred when Caitlin Clark's golf highlights began making the rounds on the internet. Her detractors, who have devoted several hours to undermining her achievements, found themselves in a precarious situation. This woman had already mastered basketball and established herself as one of the strongest female characters.
I'm excited. I think, obviously our goal of reaching the playoffs last year we accomplished, but now, we want to be a championship contender. I think we're putting in the pieces to be able to do that. Hopefully have some free agents, and I think you can just feel the excitement in the whole organization, in the city, our fans. So honestly, I can't wait to get back out there.
In sports, and now she was entering a whole new field and appearing to have no trouble at all. To anybody who ever questioned her, every swing, every well-timed move, and every flawless shot served as a direct message. In the most obvious and public way imaginable, she disproved them. She wasn't merely playing with other people. She was standing next to legendary people like Nelly Korda and Anukika Saranam, two well-respected figures in the golf community. The weird thing is that she appeared to fit in there. Each and every shot was perfect. They are all expressing themselves more powerfully than words ever could. It appeared that she had absolutely boundless abilities. This was more than simply a basketball player experimenting. We witnessed the emergence of a multi-sport phenomenon, and it was a topic of constant discussion in the golf community. Let's go back to that initial instant when he fired. With expectation growing like pressure in a confined container, the spectators had been waiting. At 7 in the morning, those stands were fully occupied. Every seat is occupied, and people are lining up to catch a glimpse. You could sense everyone holding their breath until Caitlin finally took her turn. Then she swung. With force and accuracy, the ball shot off the tee and flew down the course in a controlled arc that immediately sparked cheers. The photo wasn't just good. It was a declaration. It exuded a natural athleticism that cannot be created or imitated. Everyone in the crowd was aware of it right away. She was going to deliver in a huge way, and something special was happening. She didn't let us down. What followed was a masterclass in flexibility. This individual isn't even a professional golfer. Nevertheless, she showed commitment and skill in every shot she made, which would have made more experienced players envious. This is precisely what her supporters adore in her and what her detractors detest most about her. Her versatility is incredible. She was sinking putts with an almost meditative degree of focus, making difficult shots that would test the mettle of seasoned players. She approached each hole with fluidity, purpose, and calculation. She was competing against seasoned champions who have dedicated their entire life to honing the skill, and she was performing it with such elegance that it appeared effortless. She seemed to be actively rewriting what people expected of her with each swing. Everyone was curious about the extent of her abilities and the potential boundaries she might breach in the future. Without a doubt, she wasn't only attempting to play golf. She was in control of it. Her involvement had an instantaneous and significant impact. Because of her engagement, the event attracted far more attention than it normally would have. Because of her presence, coverage was increased. Analysts, commentators, and talking heads in the golf industry who have witnessed it all were becoming truly enthusiastic. They sensed a significant event was taking place. The change in energy was palpable to them. The way her presence was elevating everything around her. Eyes turn the instant Caitlin Clark tees off. People listen. It is indisputable that she has that influence. Let's now discuss the topic of the elephant in the room. Certain basketball rivals were clearly not pleased with her performance on that golf course. On the basketball floor, where she has been battling against Angel Reese and Nia Wilson, Caitlin has already set the standard extremely high. She is well known because to her abilities, court vision, and dominance of games. But now that her surprising golf ability is on full display, she's giving her legacy a whole new meaning. Being a fantastic basketball player is one thing. Entering and succeeding in an altogether different sport is a different matter entirely. Her detractors didn't anticipate this. They believed they understood her, believed they could foresee her actions, and possibly even lessen her brilliance. However, Caitlin is excelling in a different sport. That changes everything. This phenomenon is currently in full swing and is known as the Caitlin Clark effect. More than merely athleticism or skill, it's all about the energy she generates, the way she enthralls crowds and draws them into her world. While her critics feel totally marginalized, her admirers are energized by seeing her triumph. It is quite difficult to compete with her on the basketball floor already. However, she becomes almost unstoppable as she begins to dominate whole new sports. Her golf performance garnered attention far beyond the golf course itself, sending shockwaves through the whole sports world. This served as validation for her supporters' pre-existing beliefs. Her potential is boundless, and her versatility is astounding. It was an inevitable moment of reckoning for her detractors. Physical prowess wasn't the only factor here. It was about how composed she remained under duress and how totally at ease she appeared. With thousands of people observing her every move, her serene demeanor instantly prompted parallels to some of the greatest golfers in history. To be honest, Caitlin seems to have been destined for this. This is something to think about. Consider another active athlete that could garner this kind of attention, particularly in women's sports. It's really challenging. It is extraordinary how much genuine buzz Caitlin Clark has created in such a short amount of time throughout the whole sports world. She has evolved into a cultural phenomenon who joins the larger discourse and goes beyond her sport. Throughout the day, the audience's response was unique. It was far more than just admiration. From those stands, there was a genuine feeling of pride. People weren't simply watching Caitlin Clark, the basketball star, trying her hand at golf. In front of their eyes, they were seeing athlete Caitlin Clark actively pushing limits and gaining more clout. The thrill that surrounded her continued to grow with each stroke. Additionally, it must have been hard for her detractors to see. They were witnessing her ascent to a point where it was getting harder and harder to compete with her or even attempt to match her influence. Basketball fans who were already following her every move began to buzz even louder as she went from hole to hole. Her detractors were suddenly confronted with a more serious issue than they had previously faced. She was no longer only a basketball star. She was exploding in every sport. Basketball was no longer Caitlin Clark's sole focus. She was everywhere. Everyone is chanting her name. Her accomplishments are impressive in a variety of fields. Her detractors found it ever more difficult to keep up with her quickly expanding legend with each new accomplishment. Every encounter, she had shown her innate charm. Every admirer she encountered, each signature she signed, and each encouraging word from golf greats like Anukika Sarinam. Her star shot into the stratosphere as a result of everything. Watching all of this play out must have felt like the ultimate test for her competitors. She was starting to realize exactly what she was capable of. The more time passed, the less room there was for anyone to try to talk her down. She was actively establishing a whole new benchmark in athletics. Her supremacy went beyond her natural talent or athletic prowess. It was also about her extraordinary capacity to influence others, win them over, and set a standard that her detractors were unable to meet or follow. Caitlin Clark was changing the definition of what it means to be a really versatile athlete in the modern sports world with each swing and every second she spent in the spotlight. She wasn't merely experimenting with a new sport for fun. She was displaying a degree of proficiency that caused many to gasp in amazement. Despite their best efforts, her detractors were unable to ignore the impression she left. This served as a wake-up call. They couldn't stop her star from rising, and it was becoming painfully clear that she was being served up on a silver platter. The intensity of the mood had peaked by the time she arrived at the last holes. Every single green was crowded with fans, bodies squeezed close together, and phones raised to record every second. Videos of her greatest shots were going viral on social media, with clips being shared and reshared hundreds of times. Her impact was indisputable and hard to ignore. Journalists covering sports were working feverishly. Her method was being dissected by analysts. Professional golfers were also astonished at how fast she had picked up on the subtleties of their game. Her performance was motivational for everyone who admires extraordinary athleticism and commitment, not simply her current fan base. It became very evident that she wasn't there only to make a cameo or demonstrate her abilities. She was there to establish a basic truth. Wherever she chooses to concentrate her thoughts and energies, she may shine. Caitlin's detractors were under a lot of pressure due to the increased respect for her, particularly in light of her golf accomplishments. This went beyond simply being polite or giving kind remarks. This was sincere appreciation from those who are intimately familiar with the sport. Up until now, her battle with Hugh Wilson and Angel Reese had mostly taken place on the basketball court, a location where they might contend for supremacy and challenge one another. They had likely not given it much thought, but now they were witnessing her win hearts and make headlines in a very different sport. The story they had attempted to construct against her was disintegrating with each swing of that club. Caitlin was actively changing the definition of success in a variety of sports. Consider the situation that this places Angel and me in. They are striving for recognition, attempting to leave their own legacies, and working extremely hard to keep up with Caitlin on the basketball floor. And now, in a sport that they had never even considered, she is blatantly raising the bar. Being in a position where someone you're competing with unexpectedly expands into new areas is difficult. From her critics' perspective, her crossover success made her a complex threat in a way they hadn't imagined. Caitlin was creating her legacy in ways that put her opponents on full defensive, going beyond simply displaying her athletic prowess. With Rhee and Wilson striving to hold onto their basketball spots, Caitlin's narrative became virtually unstoppable for her supporters, particularly once she made the switch to golf. She was more than just a rival. She stood for something more. She came to represent unwavering perseverance, extraordinary adaptability, and a desire that transcended all sports. With her expanding sphere of influence, Caitlin Clark was demonstrating that she was an uncontrollable force. As her last shots dropped and the crowd exploded in deafening ovation and sincere admiration, she had transcended the basketball court to the point where her opponents were left watching from the sidelines, utterly unsure of how to react or respond. Something historic had obviously occurred. The fervor with which she performed throughout the day was palpable to the fans. They were no longer only applauding. They sincerely cared about her achievement,